And but I don't know how to tell them to be a part of this consciousness change. And I think that your movie really addresses that in a great way. My question is that one of your interviewees talked about egalitarian democracy. How do we address the people that when they hear that term, see New World Order in a conspiratorial sense, or fear socialism? That's really my question.
Well, yes, it's a good question. And by the way, you guys have awesome professors here. You have awesome people. So I appreciate that. There's a saying that I think is powerful. Definition is the death of discovery. And the first thing you do is you try to define something. People have called me a socialist. I don't even know what that means, but it immediately incites fear. It immediately raises the flag of, oh, he's bad. And so if we start talking in terms of egalitarian democracy, et cetera, that's not my thing. My thing is to impart principles that I think are timeless and eternal, and have each of us embody those principles. Then the system will really matter. If capitalism is wonderful as long as it's compassionate, as long as it's kind and conscious. But now we have an unkind, unconscious form of capitalism, I believe. So the idea is where the power is. The idea, nothing will bring you peace but yourself. Nothing will bring you peace but the triumph of principles. This is the end of Emerson's self-reliance essay. So this is where I want to build it, from the ground up. And so when we start using terms like egalitarian democracy, how will that work? And I couldn't begin to say how it would work. People say, it's so complicated, Tom. It's so complicated. It's not complicated. It's not complicated. It starts with you, and you, and you. And when enough of us change and shift and see what makes true wealth, for example, the world changes. So it doesn't have to show up in Congress. It can, and it will, because enough of us will have shifted. But the idea of tearing apart the system and egalitarian democracy, and what does that look like, and I don't have a clue. I drank far too much in college. Some of these are burned out.
That's a good answer. Because you said that,
that's a good answer.
Because you said that you wanted this to be a dialogue and discussion.
Yeah,
I think that I'm going to sort of pass off to the audience.
If anybody has any questions, please raise your hand. We'll come to you shortly. But I will begin the question and answer session because I'm greedy that way.
Is that Ben in the back?
Yes, this is.
My brother Ben. What's up?
First of all, thank you for creating this film. I'm sure everybody in the audience agrees with me that it was heartfelt and recognized that way. Secondly, in the genesis of finding where these problems with the world are, how did you find the great minds that you spoke with during this film?
How did I find them?
Yes.
Google.
Great minds in Google.
You mean like how did I respond to them? Yeah. Well, there's a term, it's an Eastern term, I think it's called shaktipat, which is when you sit with someone who's wise, you actually get the benefit of that energy. And I feel that there was some form of benefit from that energy that I got from sitting with Desmond Tutu and Howard Zinn, who is no longer with us, and the poet Coleman Barks. I feel that the edification, the education for me was, the learning curve was off the chart. I was thrilled to do that. Talk about a great way to spend a year, to go out to incredible spirits and sit in their company and get a chance to talk to them. And these were all people who had moved me. These were people who had influenced my journey in some way. And I wanted to talk to them, and I got a chance to talk to them and meet them. And it was wonderful. And also one thing I learned, and I hope you guys learn it, or if you don't already know, is I no longer look up to them. I see them eye to eye, and I hope you will do the same with me. If there's anything that inspired you, you will not look up to it, you will meet it eye to eye. So if it inspired you, you are it. Wow. You have it in you. So don't look up, even though we're on this stage looking up. You look eye to eye. be it, because you are it.
I challenge my colleague professors to treat their students the same way.
Other questions? You guys have it all? Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to address the scientific part of your movie.
Yes.
I am using the heart math, and it is very effective trying to get my heart to get my body to relax, to affect the mind, to control stress. So I just want to affirm that connection that was shown in the film.
Wonderful. What's your name?
My name is Alice Herber. And
Alice. Thank you, Alice. I was shocked when I went to heart math and found out the power of the heart. I, of course, intuited the power of the heart. It's always in our sacred traditions. The Sufi way is the pathway of the heart. Jesus is the sacred heart. We know this intuitively. You know, we have certain sayings. We never say my head goes out to you. My heart goes out to you. And the science of the heart now, this thing called neurocardiology, is mind-blowing. It blows your mind how powerful this instrument is and how it may be the source of intuition, of the connection with whatever you believe is divine, the energy, creativity, right here. And now they're starting to measure these things and how we affect each other. It's incredible. And we need to do a lot more research. We're just dancing on the edges of this thing, and I wouldn't even call it solid science yet. It's just this door that's creaking open, and we're seeing things that are mystical, magical, and amazing. So many meditations start right with here. Just feel this. Just feel it beating. Feel it. And there's a power. There's a power. We've got another one over here.
Could you talk a little bit more about that Wendigo, please?
About what?
The Wendigo.
Oh, Wetico. Is that what you said? Wetico?
Yeah.
There you are. What's your name?
Chloe.
Chloe? Okay. Wetico is a Native American term for mental illness. So you guys realize I term myself mentally ill in the movie, and I actually believe it. I'm not saying it as a joke. And again, it was a quote that Tom Hartman said that the Native people, indigenous people, saw us coming from Europe and said, oh, they're infected with Wetico. It's a mental illness. And that's when the movie began to actually take shape. And I saw what the arc of the movie was about. I didn't know what it was about. I went on this quest, and it started to take shape. And so what is a mental illness? A mental illness is defined as not operating in reality. Not operating in reality. So if reality is that everything is connected, that we're all one, that if my behavior, my feelings, my emotions, my thoughts affect another, the same with you. And not just the human, but all living systems. And we've crafted a culture that is about separation, being number one. It's funny how the hypocrisies show up. We have a culture that says, be number one. And yet our religious traditions, our mystical traditions, say the first shall be last and the last shall be first. And yet we're struggling to be first. So we may have very well crafted a world around unreality. So when I come along with a movie like this, many people see me as insane. I just did an interview with a reporter who asked me straight up, do your friends see you as insane? And a sane person in an insane world will always appear insane. And I can't say whether I'm sane or insane, but I do see the insanity of the way we do things. This hypocritical way that you saw my dad interviewed, and he said, we walk in church on Sunday and we love each other, and on Monday is different. How do we take advantage of each other? How do I win in business? How do I be number one? And that I is an illusion. It's seeing things in duality. And what the mystics have always said is no, there is no duality, folks. There is a oneness, this whatever created us, whatever force, just its spark,